Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be utilizing our Pawanmukta Series 1 practice. And this practice involves awareness with our breathing, the movements of our body, and preparing us for the day, preparing us for movement, and just helping with increasing blood flow to the joints. It's very excellent for those that are dealing with rheumatism, arthritis, high blood pressure, heart problems, other ailments where like exercise is not heavily advised. So we're going to try to keep in mind our awareness with our physical movement of the body. So it's really just a focus practice on the body. So we're going to do that today. So let's get started. We're going to start in base position for Pawanmukta, which is going to look like this. So we're going to sit on our sits bones, which is our butt, and we're going to have our legs out in front of us. And it helps to prop your arms back, especially if you have a hard time keeping your back straight in this position. You can push your arms back and help create that straightness of the spine. So we're going to place our palms behind us like this. Now lean back, and we're going to close our eyes, resting and breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So try to relax your jaw and your shoulders and your neck. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just again, let's practice our awareness of the breath, where the breath flows, where it goes when it flows in, and how it feels when it flows out. Paying attention to the spread of our ribs as we breathe in. And the closeness of our ribs and our stomach was when we breathe out. So now we're going to bring awareness to our toes. We're going to move into Patanjali Naman, toe bending. So see my toes wiggling. We're going to bring our feet together just like they are now. Keep your spine straight and lean back a little. We're going to slowly move our toes, just the toes, forward and back, forward and back. Nice and slow, keeping the ankles straight. Inhale when your toes move back. So one of the things that we learn in yoga is that a lot of times our inhale is necessary with the motion of up or in. So when the toes move back, and when the toes move out, exhale. Just like that. So let's practice that nice and slow, and we're going to do that for a few breaths. Just like that. So now that we've practiced our toe bending, we're going to move into Gulf Naman, which is ankle bending. So again, staying in our base position, and sometimes your hands might feel a little numb sitting in this position. It's okay to take a second, stretch your wrists a little, wiggle your hips a little, and get back into place. So let's get into our Gulf Naman. We're going to carefully flex both feet back and forward, back and forward. And you're going to imagine the flats of your feet touching the floor. Now, I'm only able to bend mine so far because I've practiced pointing and dancing. But a lot of us maybe can't flex that far, and that's okay. This is what yoga is about, is the more we practice, the more we become capable. So flexing the feet towards the floor and flexing them back. And then we're gonna flex forward And imagine your shins having a string tied to them and your toes reaching towards the shins, like we're pulling a little puppeteer string. So flex back, forward. And again, it's the same with our breath. So inhale when our feet come back, and exhale when our feet go forward. Keep an awareness in the stretch of your ankle and your calf. Pay attention to how those muscles are feeling as we pull them back and forth. So next we're going to move into Gulf Chakra, ankle rotation. So we're going to press our legs shoulder width apart. So I think my shoulders are about this width. The nice thing about this position is we can actually see where our shoulders are in conjunction with our feet. We're going to slowly rotate the foot clockwise from the ankle 10 times. Now remember, from the ankle, not from the knee, from the ankle. So clockwise 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the same side, same rotation on the other foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm noticing with my awareness that my left side is tighter than the other. 9. And that's okay. Sometimes one side of the body cannot reach the same amount of stretch as the other side of the body. So, keeping in mind again, we inhale when things go up or back, and we exhale when things go down or forward. So, we're going to slowly rotate them together in the same direction. I think we can go counterclockwise this way. Now that we've finished our Gulf Chakra, we're going to move into Gulf Gourmand, the ankle crank. So we're going to bend the left ankle, this one, for me, into the figure 4 position. For those of you who don't know what the figure 4 position is, you're going to carefully, don't go too hard with it, take your left ankle over your knee, just like this, your right knee. And sometimes it's good to do a little bit of a stretch because it can be a little bit tight, so just gently press on the knee just to help with a little bit of the fluidity there. Now we're going to make sure that our ankle is hanging over, not on top, but over the leg, because we want to make sure we have some room to move the foot. We're going to take our foot in our right hand, and we're going to put our hand here just for some stability, so right above the ankle. We want to make sure the ankle is hanging over the leg so that there's freedom to roam and move. And we're going to rotate the foot in clockwise direction 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can go nice and slow with your breath. I'm only moving quickly for the sake of time, but you can make sure that you go nice and slow with your breath. Like that. we're going to go into counterclockwise. Now we're going to gently put our leg back to its position, and we're going to switch to the other side, taking our right leg now and bringing it close to the groin. And again, keeping an awareness in the body, keeping the spine straight if you can, and also pay attention to how tight your muscles might feel in some of these positions. It's important to note so that you know what stretches might be important for you to practice more frequently to help with creating that looseness. Like for me, for instance, this side is a lot tighter for me, so my leg is sitting up much higher. So making sure the ankle is hanging over, taking my foot in this hand, so my right foot's going to go in my left hand, and I'm going to grab my right big toe, and I'm going to start with my clockwise circulations. And remember, we're using our breath with the uphill, we're using an inhale with the upward motion and an exhale with the downward motion. Imagine a little pinwheel. And then we're going to go counterclockwise. All right, and once we've finished 10, we're going to place our legs back into base position again. And we're going to move on to the next position. So now we're going to be giving some love to the knees with Janupalak Akarshan. Staying in the base position. So I'm going to get my back straight again, just for a little reminder from my body. I'm going to gently contract the muscles around the knee. So sometimes you might feel this in your buttock because you have to clench, but the goal is to not need to use your buttock to clench your knee muscle. So it's very subtle, but you can see me lifting my kneecap here. So we're basically pulling the kneecap up the thigh with that muscle that's that big thick one that goes all the way up our leg here. So you're going to hold it for 3 to 5 seconds each time. We're going to do 10 times each. That's the magic number. And again, inhale with the contracting back and exhaling with the contracting forward. So inhale, exhale, just like that. And you can choose to do this however you'd like. You could choose to do one at a time on either side. You could do them both at the same time, or you could just do one side 10 times and the other side 10 times, whichever works for you. Either way, it's important to remember to separate. We can do one at a time, and then we need to do them both at the same time. It's important to practice that control with the muscles. So next we're going to move on to Janu Naman, knee bending. So keeping our base position, we're going to bend the right knee, pulling your thigh to your chest, and clasp the hands under the right thigh. Straighten the right leg, pulling up the kneecap. Keep the hands under the thigh, but straighten the arms, keeping the heel about 10 centimeters off of the floor. So bending the right knee so that the thigh comes close to the chest, and heel to the groin if you can. It's okay if you can't. And then straightening again, keeping it above. So part of that is keeping the heel off of the ground, which might be a little bit difficult, and that's okay if you need to stop and take a pause and then continue on. And continue to keep your spine straight if you can, and practice 10 on either side. Exhale as we come out. Inhale as we come up. You should feel this in the top of your thighs, and you may feel it in your lower abdomen as well. And we're going to go to the other side as well. Focusing on keeping our back straight. I find that it helps to keep the chest open for this position to help keep the back straight. Sometimes when we focus on keeping our chest open, it helps with straightening that lower spine. Now there's another step to this one. We're going to bend both of our knees together, bringing the thighs to our chest and placing our feet on the floor in front of us. Holding the backs of our thighs, we're going to raise the feet from the floor slightly and balance on our buttocks. So we're going to straighten the legs as much as you can without creating any strain. And your arms will straighten naturally with this. And you're going to continue to support the thighs, point your toes forward. Keep the head and spine upright and maintain this position for just a few seconds. Now bend your knees, bring the legs back to the start position, keeping your heels above the floor. Draw the toes back towards the shins, like this. We're going to do 5 to 10. You don't have to do an entire 10 amount of those. That can be hard for the first time, so it's okay to start with 5. So let's try that one again. We're going to bring our legs up, keeping the back straight, chest open, stretching out without straining our backs. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. We can do, I did 4 of those. We can do 5, 10, however you feel comfortable. Okay, sometimes it's good to do a little stretch after that one too, as it is a little tense on the thigh muscles. Okay. So, if you have weak abdominals or back conditions or high blood pressure, I would recommend avoiding the second stage that we just did, the one that we just did of this, as it can be a bit of a strain on your body doing that one. It's a little more advanced than a regular Pawanmukta. So next we're going to do our Janu chakra. We're going to do the knee crank, and we're going to stay in base position, bending the right knee and bring the thigh near the chest. Place your hands under the right thigh, so similar to what we were just doing with Janu Naman. Interlock your fingers, or you can cross your arms holding your elbows like this. We're going to raise the right foot off the ground and rotate the lower leg from the knee in a large circular movement. The upper leg and trunk should be completely still. Rotate 10 times clockwise and 10 times anti-clockwise. And then switch in the direction of our rotation. Remember to lead with your knee, not your heel or your ankle. So engaging those thigh muscles to make this rotation happen. And we're going to repeat on the other side. And remember to keep your awareness in your breathing, awareness in the contraction of your muscles, how it feels going up and down in a circle. Okay, next we're going to be moving into Ardha Titali Asana. So this is the half butterfly. We're going to sit in our base position, bend the right leg, and place the right foot comfortably on the left thigh. Place the right hand on top of the bent right knee. So I'm going to straighten out my sits bones here. Hold the toes of the right foot with the left hand. This is the starting position. So let's make sure our ankle is hanging off just a little. So as we breathe in, we're going to move the right knee up towards the chest, and breathing out, gently pushing the knee down, trying to imagine touching the knee to the floor. So up and down, and up and down. So just like a butterfly wing. Remember, your leg muscles should not be straining for this one. They should be very passive in your trunk, so that your main body should not be moving with this movement. Your hand is helping with and assisting, and your leg is only barely utilizing any muscles for this one. Part of this is relaxing that hip. We're going to repeat on the other side. So the foot over the thigh, holding our foot with our hand, other hand on the knee, lifting up. Inhale, exhale. Ooh, I can feel that one in my hip socket. It's a tight hip. So since this one hurts my left hip, I'm going to focus on not moving my trunk to allow as much stretch as I can in that left hip. Now, there's another stage of this one that we can do without breath synchronization. So let's do just a quick demonstration of that as well. We're going to slide that left foot back out, back into base position, bring the right leg back over the left thigh. We're going to relax the right leg muscles as much as possible, so nice little relax. We're gonna push the right knee down with the right hand and try to touch the knee to the floor. Don't strain it, just a gentle push, a guiding push. Let the knee spring up on its own. We're gonna do 30 pushes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just like pulses that we practice in yoga sculpt. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you might start to notice more of an opening up in that hip there after you get to about 20 like I just did. Okay, so let's practice that on the other side now. Left foot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And keep in mind, we're not trying to give any resistance with our hand as it rests on top. We're just recognizing when it springs back up and gently pushing it down for the next spring. Okay, and this is a great practice, by the way, for loosening up the knee and hip joints for meditative purposes, just like when we sit in our final namaste position. All right, we're gonna move into Shroni Chakra. So sitting in the same starting position for the last one we just did, we are going to get back to the right foot on the left thigh. So start here. Good little variation. We're gonna use the right hand to rotate the right knee in a circle and make the circular movement as large as possible. So we're gonna take it in big circles. That's as big as I can get, it looks like, which isn't very big, but that's okay. The index pointer, so the index finger can help draw that circle. If you feel like you're not drawing a perfect circle, maybe you're drawing a rhombus or, you know, an octagon, you can use your pointer finger to help figure out if you're doing a good circle or not. I think I'm doing something similar to an oval at the moment. 10 rotations clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. Counterclockwise seems to be a good one. Okay, I'm going to swap to the other side as well. So, a little index finger to help me with my circles. I'm gonna make a note here too to practice the awareness again with seeing if one side is tighter than the other. So just now I noticed my right side is tighter. That tells me that maybe when I'm practicing my Pawanmukta, I need to try to do a little bit more rounds on this side to help gradually stretch it more. All right, we're gonna move into Asana. We're gonna start in base position, but we're gonna be folding our feet like this. It's a full butterfly. So we're gonna clasp the feet with both hands and gently move the knees up and down, up and down. So try not to use any force when it comes down to the ground. You don't need to force it down to the tile, but just up and allow it to fall. Up and allow it to fall. Allowing that relaxed feeling is what really gives us that stretch in those inner muscles that are very tight inside of our hips and our lower thighs. All right, up, down. We want to do about 30 of these. Okay, so we're gonna have a stage 2 to this position. We're going to keep the soles of our feet together. Place the hands on the knees. And using the hands, we're gonna gently push the knees down to the floor, allowing them to spring up again. So for me, if I try to keep my back straight, I have a hard time pushing down and not curling my back. So I'm going to be doing this to help me keep my back as straight as I can. Push and back up. Push and back up. Do not force it, just a gentle push and back up. And we're going to do 30 of these as well. Normal breathing for this one. You don't have to worry about an inhale on the up rise and an exhale on the downturn, but just keeping a steady pace of breathing. Now support your knees as you come back up and straighten the legs. So the only thing is, I need to start saying this before we do these exercises. If you have sciatica and sacral conditions, which is going to be back here, you don't want to be doing that one. That's why I mentioned, for me, it makes me curve if I try to do it this way. So it might help to do a different pose to help keep that back straight, just like we did. But again, supporting the knees as you come up and relaxing the legs back into our base position. So we're going to move on to some hand movements. Now this one is Mushtika Bandhana. It's a hand clenching, and it's very simple. We're going to stay in our base position, or you can cross leg. I think I'm going to cross leg to give a little bit of a relief to my lower back, as I do also have some sciatic issues. So base position. Hold both your arms straight in front of the body at the shoulders. You're going to open the hands, palms down, and stretch the fingers as wide as possible. Big, 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 big stretch. Close the fingers, make a tight fist with your thumbs inside your fists. The fingers should be slowly wrapped around the thumbs, so you don't have to go too fast. Open and stretch again. We're going to do 10 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our breathing is going to be the same with this one. It's going to be an inhale, exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And your awareness needs to be on the stretching of those muscles as you open and clasp those hands. The next one is going to be Mani Bandha Naman, which is a wrist bending exercise. You're going to stay in the base position or cross-leg pose, which works just as fine with the hand stretches. We're going to keep the palms open and fingers straight throughout the entire practice. Okay, We're gonna bend the hands backwards as if the wrists are pressing against a wall, and we're trying to fold them back, but keeping our elbows straight if we can, and bending our hands down. Up, down. So again, inhale with the up, exhale with the down. Inhale with up, exhale with down. Keeping those elbows straight and those arms at shoulder height. Now we're going to move on to Mani Bandha chakra. That's going to be the wrist joint rotation. We're going to stay in our cross-legged pose with the back straight. We're going to extend the right arm forward at shoulder level. Make a loose fist with the right hand with the thumb inside. We're going to slowly rotate the fist, ensuring the fist faces downward throughout the rotation. So just like this. Almost like we're about to knock on a door, but we changed. We're still not sure if we want to knock on the door, but maybe we'll knock on the door. Oh, I don't know. We'll do this 10 times. And you want to try to keep your arms and elbows as straight as you can. And if you can get as big of a circle as you can, go for it. But if you can't, that's okay to start small. It takes practice. 10 times. And we're going to do this again with this side. Thumb in, switch. This side seems to be a little harder for me. I've got a little more shaking in my arm, and I can't seem to do a very large circle, and that's okay. Sticking to one direction for this one, we'll move on to this next stage with a different direction. We're going to do the same thing, but this time a different direction. Try to keep in mind that you need your back straight. Sometimes we pay less attention to our back because we're doing other things with other muscles. And it's important to pay attention and help focus on that back, because our back is what carries everything every day. Other side again. Again, keeping the thumb inside the fist. It's hard to remember sometimes. There's a lot of different exercises that we do in our daily life that require the thumb to be outside, but the thumb is going to be inside for this one, for that full stretch along the wrist. Now, we're also going to do this at the same time, like a lot of other asanas. We're going to take both fists, closing the thumb, same direction. Opposite direction. We're going to move into Kehuni Naman, which is an elbow bending exercise. So in the base position, we can stay cross-legged for this one. A lot of our upper body work, it's okay to stay in the cross-legged position just for a good solid base. So we're going to stretch the arms in front of our body at shoulder level. We're going to have a bend, our palms are going to be open, facing upward, and we're going to bend the arms at the elbows and touch the fingers to the shoulders, just like this. Keeping the elbows up. We want them parallel to the floor, and we're going to straighten the arms again. We're going to do this 10 times. Inhale when your arms are straight. This might seem a little backwards to what we've been practicing, but inhale while the arms are straight and exhale when the arms bend. So the next stage, we're going to now extend them at a sideways level, hands open and palms facing the ceilings. Bend the arms at the elbow and touch the fingers to the shoulders again, keeping the upper arms parallel to the floor. Keeping our awareness on the movement of the elbow joint and the arm muscles and the breath. It's a lot to try to stay in focus with and stay in tune with, but the more we practice this, the easier it gets. So next we're going to move on to Kihuni chakra. So it's also an elbow rotation. We're going to stay in our cross-legged pose, and we're going to stretch the right arm in front of the body at shoulder level. The right hand can be open or loosely closed. It's however you would like to do that one. You're going to support the right upper arm with the left hand. Bend the right arm at the elbow, rotating the elbow joint so that the lower arm and hand move clockwise, keeping the upper arm steady and parallel to the floor. We want this to feel smooth. The fingers should almost touch the right shoulder as they move past. If they can touch the shoulder, fantastic. I'm going to do 10 of these clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. Those big circles. But remember to support the elbow for this one to help keep it a smooth movement for that joint. Okay. And again on this side next. Start clockwise. And again, our breathing is an inhale on the upward stroke. Okay, and then counterclockwise. Relaxing our arms again. All right, next we're going to move into Skanda chakra, shoulder socket rotation. There's a couple stages to this one, so we're going to stay in our cross-legged pose. The first stage is going to start with the fingers of the right hand on the right shoulder, keeping the left hand on the left knee and the back straight. We're going to rotate the right elbow in a large circle. Practice 10 times clockwise. And the important thing is to keep this part of our body still and straight. And again, we're inhaling on the upward stroke, exhaling on the downward stroke. And then we're going to go counterclockwise. Keeping an awareness on the stretching sensation that we're creating around our shoulder here. Okay, and we're going to move to the other side. So placing the right hand on this knee, helping for stability. Placing our left hand on our left shoulder. And we're gonna start clockwise again on this side. 10 times. And this practice is very good for people like myself where our shoulders are dipping forward all the time, possibly due to lower and upper back problems, or especially as a woman, sometimes we lean forward more because of our lovely gifts that we have. And we're going to go into the next counterclockwise direction. Here we go. Okay, and then relax, placing it back on our knee, giving our arms a little bit of love. Okay, our next one is going to be Griva Sanchalana. It's going to be neck movements. Now, we can also stay in our cross-legged pose for this one. I would recommend it. We're going to close our eyes and slowly move our head forward and try to touch the chin to the chest. So forward. Moving the head as far back as comfortable. Do not strain, just relax. Now, some of us might have issues with our vagus nerve, and it's important to try to relax the shoulders. It's okay if this is not comfortable at first, especially if your shoulders immediately want to tighten up when we lean our head back. This is what is important about this practice, is doing it as often as we can to help slowly over time release that vagus nerve, relax it, and allow our heads to lean back in a relaxed pose. So down to the chin, eyes closed. And we're going to inhale on the backward movement. Exhale on the forward movement. Inhale. Exhale. 10 times. Okay, and then the next stage, we're going to be remaining in the same position with our eyes closed. We're going to face directly forward, relax the shoulders, and we're going to slowly move the head to the right, bringing the right ear close to the right shoulder without raising the shoulders. So see, my shoulder immediately wants to go up. So this is where this practice is so important. It's very hard for a lot of us that do a lot of desk work where we're leaning over, folding our shoulders all the time, or there's already just a constant strain on those shoulders. Doing this practice is going to help those muscles loosen up and stop responding with such trauma. So leaning. This is as far as I can go. Then we're going to move to the left side. And the right side. And the left side. Keeping an awareness on how tense those muscles are, how far they're letting you go. Some people can touch their ear to their shoulders without the shoulders having to tense up. Doing 10 on each side. Try to relax your back for this one, as a lot of people have a hard time keeping their back relaxed when they're also having to relax their shoulders. Sometimes those muscles are all interconnected and we can't seem to separate them, and that's okay. But just try to keep that awareness in your lower back and in your shoulders as you do this exercise. Two more. And remember, we're inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward. Okay, our next one is going to be same pose, but we're just doing our third stage here. So This one is going to be remaining in the same sitting position, keeping the head upright and the eyes closed, gently turning the head to the right so that the chin is in line with the right shoulder. And then feel the release of the tension of the neck muscles and loosening of the neck joints. We're going to slowly turn the left as far as comfortable, same thing. Relaxing those shoulders if you can. Sometimes it helps to place the hands on the knees, in the lap, or behind. Whatever you need to do to help those shoulders relax and stay low. Left. Inhale, exhale to the right. So remaining in the same position with the eyes closed, we're going to slowly rotate the head downward to the right, backward, and then to the left. So basically a circle. We're going to pay attention to the shifting stretch. Pay attention to how the stretch changes as your neck moves and how it feels. So let's see if we can get moving on that one. If you get dizzy doing this, do not continue. Take a pause. I'm going to adjust my crossing. Okay. Inhale as the head moves up. Exhale as the head goes down. Ten times clockwise and 10 times counterclockwise. So just like a lot of the other ones we've been doing. Keeping the eyes closed, allowing our bodies to stay relaxed. Almost done here. So, after all of our movements, we're going to move into a gentle Shavasana. So relaxing, lifting the knees. We're going to get into this position. We're going to lay in corpse pose. And before we do a full Shavasana, we're going to draw our right knee into our chest. And we're going to twist to the side, allowing that stretch in the tight hips that we've just rotated. Turning our head to the opposite side. Being gentle with our twist as we've just lubricated all of those joints. Bringing the knee back up, flattening the knee, bringing the left knee up to our chest, give it a nice big hug, pushing a nice little twist over to the side, keeping our shoulders on the floor and our hips stacked. Take a breath here. Bring it back in. And now we're going to move into Shavasana. Now Shavasana is important to be utilized for more than just a couple minutes. Shavasana is necessary to stay in this pose for 10 minutes because 10 minutes is how we give our body enough time to gather awareness, gather a breath, relax, and really settle into all the movements that we've just done with our bodies. So we're going to move into Shavasana and we're going to stay here for 10 minutes. Breaths, paying attention to how we're laying, whether one side feels like it's sitting higher than the other, or if maybe we've corrected that now that we've done our Pawanmukta Series. attention to how your palms feel. Do they feel heavy or light? Noticing how deep of a breath we take in Shavasana. How long of an exhale. Closing our eyes, we're letting the shoulders sink into the floor. Giving our awareness to our chest, our toes, our knees. Allow yourself to listen to your body as you rest. deep breath in and a low exhale out. We're going to bring some awareness into the tips of our toes, just like we started with, pushing these toes forward and back. Same with our fingertips, curling our fingers, stretching, curling. Sometimes it's nice to rotate the knees and allow your arms to stretch up and overhead into a full body stretch. Oh, just like waking up and looking into the sky. Keeping your eyes closed, we're going to lift our right knee and bring it to the floor, to the side, and roll into our side lying pose. And stay here for just a moment. And when you're ready, we're going to meet up in our cross-legged pose with our eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. Thanking our body for allowing us to lubricate our joints in such a nice manner today. Now, thanking ourselves for giving us the space to do such a practice, even though sometimes we feel that we need to go into yoga practice, getting some intense workout. Sometimes it's also very good to pay attention to those joints that we work so hard every day. Bringing your thumbs to your forehead and your third eye chakra, and bowing, ending our session. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining.